What if you could turn your breadboard into a real emergency siren, adjustable with the twist of a knob? Hey guys, in this video, you'll learn how to make an adjustable siren using two 555 timer ICs. Stay tuned to the second part of this video, where I'll explain how this circuit works. I've packed my favorite 555 timer projects into a free ebook. Yep, totally free. Don't miss it. Click the link in the description to get yours. Here are all the components you need to set up this circuit. 2 alligator clips, 16 jumper wires, 1 5-watt speaker, 1 68 kilo ohm resistor, 3 10 kilo ohm resistors, a 1N4148 fast switching diode, a 9-volt battery buckle connector, a 9-volt battery, a 100 kilo potentiometer, 1 10 microfarad capacitor, 1 100 microfarad capacitor, 1 33 microfarad capacitor, 1 10 nanofarad ceramic capacitor, 1 100 nanofarad ceramic capacitor, 2 555 timer ICs, a breadboard to connect everything together. The 555 timer IC comes with 8 pins. There is a notch or a dot on the chip's body. Pin 1, located at the top left, serves as the ground or ground supply. Pin 2, the trigger pin, initiates the timing interval in monostable and astable modes. Pin 3 serves as the output, providing the timer's operational result depending on its mode: monostable, astable, or bistable. Pin 4, the reset pin, is used to reset the 555 timer's internal flip-flop. Pin 5 serves as the control pin, enabling you to adjust the threshold voltage levels used by the internal comparators to set and reset the flip-flop. Pin 6, the threshold pin, monitors the voltage of the capacitor in the circuit. Pin 7, the discharge pin, manages the timing capacitor's charge and discharge cycle. Pin 8, known as VCC, supplies power to the IC. Let's set up the circuit step by step. Begin by positioning the 555 timer on the breadboard. The pins are numbered counterclockwise, starting from the top left corner. Refer to the later circuit diagram if you have questions about the circuit connections. Insert the 555 timer in the middle of the breadboard. A jumper wire connects pin 1, or ground, to the negative rail. A jumper wire connects pin 8, or VCC, to the positive rail. Use a jumper wire to connect pin 2, or trigger, to pin 6, or threshold. Use a jumper wire to connect pin 4, or reset to pin 8, or VCC. Insert a 10 microfarad capacitor into pin 2, or trigger and the negative rail. The cathode is in the negative rail. Insert a 1N4148 fast switching diode into pin 2 or trigger and pin 7 or discharge. The anode is in pin 7. I need to connect this 100 kilo potentiometer to the first 555 timer. Insert a jumper wire into pin 7 or discharge and a few rows above the 555. Insert another jumper wire into pin 7 and a few rows above the previous jumper wire. Insert a jumper wire into the positive rail and a few rows above the previous jumper wire. Place the 100 kilo potentiometer onto the breadboard, ensuring each of its 3 terminals aligns with the 3 separate rows where you previously inserted the wires. Bend the ends of a 68 kilo ohm resistor. Insert the 68 kilo ohm resistor into pin 6 or threshold and pin 7 or discharge. Insert a 10 nanofarad ceramic capacitor into pin 5 or control and the negative rail. Insert another 555 timer below the first one. A jumper wire connects pin 1, or ground, to the negative rail. A jumper wire connects pin 8, or VCC, to the positive rail. Use a jumper wire to connect pin 2, or trigger, to pin 6, or threshold. Use a jumper wire to connect pin 4, or reset to pin 8, or VCC. Insert a 100 nanofarad ceramic capacitor into pin 2 or trigger and the negative rail. Bend the ends of a 10 kilo ohm resistor. Insert the 10 kilo ohm resistor into pin 3 of the 555 timer and pin 5 of the second one. Bend the ends of a 10 kilo ohm resistor. Insert the 10 kilo ohm resistor into pin 3 of the 555 timer and pin 5 of the second one. Bend the ends of a 10 kilo ohm resistor. Insert the 10 kilo ohm resistor into pin 7 or discharge and the positive rail. Insert a 100 microfarad capacitor into pin 3 or output and a few rows below the 555. The anode is in pin 3. Insert a jumper wire into the negative rail. Insert a jumper wire into the positive rail. Insert a 33 microfarad capacitor into the same row as the jumper wires. The anode is facing the positive rail. Use a jumper wire to connect the negative power rails together. Insert a jumper wire into the same row as the 100 microfarad capacitor. Attach an alligator clip to the other end of the jumper wire. Insert a jumper wire into the negative rail. Attach an alligator clip to the other end of the jumper wire. Connect the other end of the alligator clips to the 5-watt speaker. Connect the 9-volt battery buckle connector to the 9-volt battery. It's time to connect the power supply. Insert the positive lead to the positive rail. Insert the negative lead to the negative rail. We have successfully completed the circuit. Rotate the knob on the potentiometer to fine-tune how fast the siren sweeps. Let's dive into the circuit and break it down step by step. This circuit is a classic dual-stage 555 timer police siren that uses frequency modulation to generate an alternating high and low wailing pitch. It consists of two 555 timer ICs, IC1 and IC2, connected in series. IC1 produces a low-frequency control signal that continually shifts the tone, while IC2 generates the audible tone heard through the speaker. When C1 reaches 2/3 of the supply voltage, pin 7 discharges C1 through R2 until it drops to 1/3, restarting the cycle. Adjusting VR1 alters this timing cycle, directly changing how fast or slow the siren sweeps. The right section around IC2 acts as the audio tone generator. It is also wired as a stable multivibrator, but uses much smaller component values so that it oscillates significantly faster, well within the audible sound range. Instead of operating at a fixed frequency, IC2 receives the low-frequency square wave output from pin 3 of IC1, fed directly into its control voltage, or pin 5, through a 10 kilo ohm resistor. Pin 5 directly dictates the internal comparator thresholds of the 555 timer. When IC1's output is high, it raises the voltage on pin 5 of IC2, forcing C3 to charge higher and lowering the output pitch. When IC1's output is low, the voltage drops, causing IC2 to switch faster and raise the pitch. The resulting frequency-modulated signal exits pin 3 of IC2 as a high-amplitude square wave. Before reaching the 5-watt speaker, the signal passes through C4, an electrolytic capacitor that acts as a DC blocker to prevent continuous DC current from burning out the speaker coil while allowing the AC audio waveform through. C5 serves as a decoupling filter across the 9-volt supply rails to smooth out voltage dips caused by the heavy current draw of the speaker, while C2 provides high-frequency noise filtering on IC1's control pin. I hope this video has shown you how to make an adjustable police siren with the 555 timer ICs. If you want to learn more about building circuits and electronics from the ground up, check out my Getting Started with Electronics eBook. It walks you through the fundamentals, components, tools, and how to read and build real circuits, so you can start designing your own projects with confidence. The link is in the video description. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing for more electronics tips and tutorials, and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.